7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss buttabrocka.
You are now tuned in to buttabrocka on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, buttabrocka. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. I haven't seen Aaron in so long. It seems like ages. But before we bring on our special guest, man, I haven't been on here lately because I have been busy getting ready for our 2-year anniversary for BBR Indie Films and our first annual award show. So we got so much that we have coming up. That is going to be on Sunday, December 14th. We want to see you in the building. We, I think, are down to like 20 tickets. So y'all better get y'all tickets. Y'all already know how we do. And let me see, man, lots is going on. I am headed up to LA for the WEA, the World Entertainment Awards. I'm nominated in 2 categories, for Best Gospel Song and for Best Alternative Song. And I'm also a part of a project that is Grammy nominated at the Grammys. So I got a lot of stuff happening right now, and I'm about to drop a new Christmas album, my first Christmas album. So lots are happening like right now. But without further ado, he is an international award-winning director. Can you guys please show some love for Aaron Avant?
Hey, love, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I've been hanging in there. I've been doing good. It's so good to talk to you. It is so good to talk to you.
Great talking to you too. I have not seen you. Let me just put it this way. Last time I seen you, you had short hair.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I promise you, I woke up one day and I said, I don't know where all this came from. I was like,
yeah. Because it usually take a minute to grow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it feels like it's just been a year, but I think it's been longer than that.
Has it?
It has to be, because who hair grows that fast? Only you.
Right. It might have been. Wow. That goes to show her just how fast time flies. That's crazy.
Yeah, time is definitely flying. So, can you tell everybody a little bit of background about yourself, and then we'll get started?
Definitely. First off, I want to say it is an honor and a pleasure to be on your platform and to be talking to your audience. And hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Avant Johnson. I'm an international award-winning writer, director, producer. Started my production company at the age of 9 years old. God has graced me to do a lot of amazing things. Traveled all over this world, not just as a author, but as a motivational speaker. Spoke to over 100 schools and youth organizations, worked with several organizations, including the Trayvon Martin Foundation. Let's see, been honored on BET, Ebony Essence, NBC, got my own day in my hometown. Yeah, I guess as we get to talking, stuff will just come back. It'll come back to me. I always like to say I may be young, but my mind is like 5 decades older than I am. So
that is very true.
That's just a little bit. Yeah.
Let's pause for a second. Did you just say you have your own day?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm planning on doing something very special next year, and I'm working on it. I was honored with my own day at 17 in the city of Miami by our mayor Francis Suarez, and that was given to me at my Lost film premiere, which was my very first feature film I did when I was 16 at the time when I produced it. But yeah, he honored me with my own day. They surprised me. I did not know what was going on. We was fresh off the plane from London. Next thing I know, I was going press and doing PR, and we showed up to the mayor's office. I'm like, why are we here? Because ain't nobody tell me nothing. And because they know me, I'll figure out stuff real quick. But we showed up there, and the mayor was just like, yeah, I want to see some of your stuff. And he seen it. Next thing you know, they had cameras and press and everybody come in, and they were like, bam, you have your own day. I was just like, oh wow, that was the first time in my life I genuinely was speechless. But yeah, planning on doing something very special for the young people next year on Aaron Avant Johnson Day in my city.
Okay, Aaron Avant Johnson Day. I mean, if y'all just heard what he said, and you said this was at age 16 or 17?
17, yeah.
At age 17, you was getting off the plane from London.
Yeah.
You was doing something else with your projects in London.
Yeah. We was fresh off of the London International Film Fest, which was an amazing experience. We were nominated. I didn't expect to win anything, I'm being honest, because when I seen the films that were showed, and I said, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna win anything tonight. But I said, it's okay. I was like, it's okay. I'm just happy to be here. And next thing you know, at the award ceremony, not only did I win, but LaToya Ward, who's a phenomenal actress out of Cali. She's been in several of Tyler Perry things and several of other great things she's doing. She won that night as well for her role in my film. So it was a shock to both of us, and because we were not expecting it at all. But yeah, that was a really, really beautiful time.
Yeah, you are truly making a way for yourself. I mean, again, you started at the age of 9, and if we really pause and think about that, 9 years old, you were still in production. That's not a normal thing. You know what I mean? So I can just imagine. And right now you are, how old are you, Aaron?
I just turned 25 last month. Yeah.
At age 25, you have accomplished more than adults have accomplished in their lifetime. Like, seriously. So what got you into doing production in the first place?
Oh yeah, it's a crazy story. My mom, she was up one night and she was on her Acer laptop. I don't know if y'all remember the old Acer laptop. It was pre-ancient. So she was on her Acer laptop and she was trying to figure out how to make this slideshow. I was like, Mom, let me see if I can figure it out. So I stayed up that entire night teaching myself how to edit. Teaching myself the program, teaching myself. I read almost every manual instruction I could find. And at the time, this is very early on. This is like 08. Maybe 08, 09, somewhere up in there. So this is like before everybody was doing tutorials. This is like Instagram. This is like all of that. So, I had to really really become a student and a sponge from any kind of information that I found. So that kind of is what led me, into, wanting to do production. After that night, I told my parents, I said, I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, I want to do it. And yeah, we got on that journey of being young and just moving, through this industry at such a young age. And now that I'm older, I can look back and say it was literally nothing but the grace of God that surrounded me. First, with the family that I have, the support system, that I have, is amazing. Miss Ty, my church family, my family, they have definitely been a great deal of just support, for me throughout that journey. So that's kind of like how it kicked off and started. Yeah.
I can tell you this from meeting and knowing your family now. You do have an amazing family that is very supportive, and that's near and dear to me because I'm the exact same way. So that's why I think I gravitate to you and your family so much, because y'all are family first, and I love that about you guys. I love that all of y'all support one another in all of your endeavors, because all of y'all talented and y'all have a reality behind each other. So kudos.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
So, man, it's so much to talk about. But first thing I want to talk about is you just won a telly.
Yes. And I still haven't celebrated. We meant to do photo shoots. We meant to go out and celebrate, and time just kind of got away from us.
You know what that means? That means you didn't won so many awards that you like, another telly.
I would be honest. I am just so grateful. I will say this, and I say this humbly. When I was younger, it got to a point where I said, "All right, Lord, I'm tired of award shows. I don't want another award. I don't want another award. Just get me to where I give me this particular goal that I'm trying to get." I'm like, but now, even now, being where I am now, it is still a great deal of honor for somebody to, take their time out to recognize you and your work. And
Yeah.
I know that feeling, all too well. It's a blessing, when somebody can see the work that you're putting in. And God has blessed me to win some, incredible achievements alongside other great people that I look up to, like Ava DuVernay and Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, and and so many other great people I can name. I don't want to go to name everybody because I'm gonna forget some people, but
Right.
it has definitely been a journey. So even now, getting the telly, I was very excited because I'm like, wow, like these doors are still open. So I'm very grateful.
So tell us what this Telly Award was for.
Yes, so we did a documentary called Embracing the Dream,
Mhm.
which is a documentary on my journey, my family's journey, and ultimately what I wanted to show with that documentary was a Black family working in entertainment. But honestly, the story is about unity. The
Mhm.
story is about coming together, because I believe that, first of all, if I'm just being honest, if I had to be reborn again, I would want to be nothing else but Black. So honestly seeing, and I'm not even talking about myself, I'm just talking about my family, like seeing them, I really be in awe. And I grew up in that sense, because I know some people may look at me and say, Aaron, you've done so much, but little do you all know, like it's a team effort. We are in the ground together, like we are there together. Like if you see me, just know my parents is right behind me.
Yep.
My brothers are right there. Our hands are always on the plow for everything.
Yep.
And even outside of my career, when my brother, he's performing artist, international recording artist, and I remember when he went out to DR to perform God, at the it was some big something they was having over there in Dominican Republic with Big Tigger and all them. Family flew over there, we great deal of support, and even anything that we do collectively. So I really wanted to show that in this documentary, and the response that we got from this documentary has been just amazing. We have did, a couple of different premieres, and just hearing everybody's response. And I remember we did a premiere this year in January for the doc, and it was not a dry eye in the room
Wow.
after it got done, and they started hearing us talk when we did the Q&A, and just hearing how our story touched so many really showed me that there's something here with this docu for somebody to take away from it. So
That's amazing. For your documentary, what would you say was your biggest challenge in translating it into a narrative?
oh, that is good. Choosing what to put in. A
Mhm.
lot, honestly, we're probably gonna do a part two where we really get down to the nitty-gritty. Because this doc here, that was hard choosing what to, because we haven't even put everything in there. It is so like this whole journey of what I'm talking about has been documented.
Right.
So we have, like, when I say count, hundreds of videos and photos and all of these things from all of these moments. So choosing what to show and choosing what to say and what not to say and what to put in, what not to put in, we're just like, okay. But yeah, we're probably gonna do a updated one where we're really gonna get to the nitty-gritty, where you guys are really gonna be able to, really get to know the Johnsons. But yeah, that I'll say that was kind of a challenging moment. Yeah.
Okay. So you have a new project that is coming out, The Mayor's Wife.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that and what inspired it?
This is my baby. The Mayor's Wife is literally my baby. So I'm gonna give you a little backstory on it. I was matter of fact, this was right after London. This was right after London. For me, I've never been the type of creator that always like strive for the Oscar, or that strive for the, that's just not my goal in this industry. It's a beautiful goal to have, but it's not my particular goal. I always say, God, only thing I wanted out of this industry was my own show. That one and done, I am good. I've got everything I wanted to get from this industry. So I said, you know what? At the age of 17, I said, I'm going to step out on a limb and I'm going to make my dream happen. So we went to, at this time I was living in Miami, but we came up here to Atlanta. We shot the pilot for this TV show. Once we shot the pilot, it ultimately got in the hands of it was floating around a bit from company to company, but it ultimately landed with Wendy Williams at the time. And then from Wendy Williams it went to Headhunter Productions, and then from Headhunter, we was in talks to do something with Queen Latifah's production company, Flavor Unit, with Shakim, and they was looking at Lauren London to lead up the show at the time, and things like that. And then COVID happened, and world shut down after that. Fast forward now, I'm like, this is a story, and this story of the mayor's wife honestly was written before its time. And I did not realize that until as of recent, because everything that I talked about then is what's actually happening now. This show really deals with mental illness, and it has subplots of sex trafficking, corrupt politics, all of what we see is happening in the world now. It's what this show is. And I just remember, but if I be honest, I remember on the last day, on that very last shot, we was outside at the basketball court filming this scene. I had all the extras out there, the crew, everybody, and it was getting ready to rain. And you can hear the thunder. Now, mind you, we got all this expensive behind equipment out here. I'm like, y'all, cover this equipment now. I got insurance. I ain't trying to use it. So I just remember when we got that last shot, oh my gosh, it literally felt like magic, because the minute I said cut, the rain dropped. It was like the rain held up just enough for us to get our last shot. And the minute I said cut, boom, rain started raining. So it was just like, everybody from that night, and I've heard it not just even from myself, from everybody that worked on it, from crew to cast to extras, just to everybody that was around, they said it was magic, doing that project. And I really believe that. So next year, we are releasing The Mayor's Wife, and we're giving it a full throttle, and we're gonna knock down every door that we can get through to get this show made, not just for because I want the show made, but also because it's a message behind this show, and it's going to bring forth a lot of conversation, especially in our community, African American community, when it comes down to mental health. And we really see that. So that's something that we got coming out. I'm working on a children's series, that we're going to be releasing next year, and it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of stuff. I got some more books, and some more things that we're doing next year. So it's we got some things in the works.
That's good. Okay. Okay, so now let's talk about Lights Camera Connection.
Yes,
you're doing so much, just like me, that it was like, man, there's so many things we could talk about.
Yeah.
What is the main goal of Lights Camera Connection?
A Lights Camera Connection. For those that don't know, when I came up here to Georgia, freshly up here, I started getting the lay of the land. I started seeing all of the amazing talent, but I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, my mind is old. I don't know where me and you met originally. I cannot recall where we met originally, but I do know when we got in person, and I got a chance to see you and what you do, and see your amazing family. And just like what you said, it's literally like a mirror. Like I see how your family supports you to the utmost, and I just seen the great work. I was just like, wow, it really should be something up here to honor all of the great talent that's here in the city. So we did our first LCC, where we honored you on our first LCC. I was like, oh, we gotta honor Butter. She's doing some amazing things, and still continue to do amazing things. We did that, and then we had the second LCC. I think it was like in May of last year. And we honored Demetra McKinney, we honored Chrissy Collins, Rick Party, so several different amazing people that's doing work in the business. And I really wanted to give that platform to honestly creators in this business that may be overlooked, because a lot of times we strive for the Emmy stages, the Oscar stages, the Golden Globe stages, and the reality is it's not that our talent is not going to afford us those opportunities, but what about the now? What about recognizing what you do now, which is like something I've learned as I've gotten older, which is to stop and smell the flowers, because that's something I did not do when I was younger. I was very much like, go, next project. And it's not until people say, well, how do you feel about this? And I'm like, I'm be honest, I don't know. I haven't sat in that moment. Like I didn't get I wish I would have appreciated it more. So
Right.
I really wanted to give that opportunity to the creators up here, and I hope the events were amazing. And LCC will be coming back. We will be doing another LCC. Is going to be bigger. It's going to be better, and it's going to be greater. We had a real good time at both events the last time. So we definitely bringing that back.
That's wonderful. What do you think is the biggest disconnect between aspiring filmmakers and the industry professionals?
That's a loaded question. Oh, God, there's so many things I can say. One thing I would say is consistency.
Mm,
Consistency is huge in this business, which I know it's huge in this business, because this is not an easy business to work in. I always say this: if you want to get rich quick type of thing, don't you dare get into entertainment, because this is not the field for that. I promise you. Is not the field for that. Like, you really have to have a love for the craft of what you do, because a lot of times you can get blindsided with this industry and all of the no's that you get. I'm going to be honest. I have been told more no's than I have been told yes. In this business, especially with being 9 and 12 and 14, 15, because when people hear my age, they'll say, "Oh, that's cute. That's cute." And then when they see the work, they ask, "Well, who did it?" I'll be like, "I did." And they'll say, "No, really, who did it?" I'm like, so, I grew up honestly having to always prove myself, having to always show up and say, "Hey guys, like I'm doing this." But honestly, that has taught me about consistency. It's taught me to be ready even when you're not ready.
right.
Be ready even when you're not ready. Even when you're not ready, be ready. Stay ready. Keep some type of motion moving for yourself. And then also what I've learned too is be intentional with your work. Be very intentional. Be very strategic with your work. I know as creators, we can get in this span where we just want to create, which is amazing. I'm glad we got it. But if we're not strategic with the way we create, if we don't have a plan on the back end for what it is that we're creating, then we're going to create it and go out and it's going to be put out, and we're going to say it ain't do nothing. Ain't nobody pay attention to it. Ain't nobody do. So I it's a lot of things I can say. But if I have to just knock it down, consistency, showing up when you don't want to show up, be ready, even when you're not ready. And that is some advice I can give. Yeah.
So I was told that you are coming up next year also going to be working on some AI film projects.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm very curious to talk to you about this AI.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I actually have something done already, which will be coming out very, very sooner than people think. Yeah, I worked on it over the summer. So I actually got a whiff of this AI a long time ago, before it started becoming what it is now. And I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I said, I'm gonna put myself through AI boot camp. And I literally was like a sponge. I shelled away for a number of time. And I said, I'm going to teach myself everything I need to know about this AI and where it's going. And I will say this, in the next maybe 2 to 3 years, we are about to see a revolution with AI like we've never seen it before. Just even in some of the people that I know in this space is already doing top tier commercials for Uber and booking.com and all of these amazing things that is fully AI, and you would not be able to tell it. And that is something that I wanted to lean on. So I have a project. It is a horror short that we worked on over the summer, that we will be releasing very soon, that is completely AI from top to bottom. But it's one of those projects that if you look at it, you kind of forget it's AI. You're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, I almost forgot that I'm watching AI generated, film. So I got some things cooking with that. And even the retelling of my show, we incorporated some AI elements in there as well. And I'm very looking forward to everybody seeing that. So it's been interesting. It ain't as easy as everybody think. I will say that. It's not as easy as everybody think. Everybody think you just put in a prompt and it's just that. Nah, if you're trying to if you really want to make it look like a movie, Oh, I literally go from like maybe 6 to 7 different systems on 1 to 2 shots.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a time, but I enjoyed it.
So how do you? Okay, we know that in 1 to 2 years you feel like it's going to be revolutionary
Yeah.
in the film industry, but how does that affect? How do you think that affects most filmmakers?
You want to know? Here's the thing. I understand both sides of this conversation.
Mhm.
Um, but here's where I stand on it. I stand like this. No matter what comes, no matter what software comes out, first, nothing can replace the human touch of what it is that we're doing.
Mhm.
Because there's something about that realness, that human to human we can just relate to. Now on the flip side of this conversation, I also look at on the business side, if we're talking major production studios and different things like that, honestly, AI is saving studios a lot of money, saving them a lot of time. I don't know if you guys seen it, but they it's a whole like sequence in this Netflix show. It's an Argentina show that's on Netflix right now that is completely AI generated. And they reported that if they was to shoot that, it would have taken them millions upon millions of dollars, and they was able to get that scene done in maybe like a couple of days
Mhm.
with AI. Save them so much money. And I will say it's not honestly about the system, it's how you use it. It's how you use it, because at the end of the day, it's us that is using the system. You know, the system can't create something that you're not telling it to.
Right.
So I will say it's definitely going to be a revolution, and it's one of those things where you got to either get on the boat or you're going to get left behind. And I always say this world is about evolution, and we see evolution in everything. You know, with music, at one point in time, we couldn't even fathom streaming music. You know, we had CDs. You know, before CDs, you had cassette tapes, and then before that, you had your vinyl records. And you know, so it's like there's evolution in everything. Why not evolution in the film industry? And it's one of those things where I say, like, if you really teach yourself and you become a student, then you can use it to your advantage and not look up one day and say, dang, I wish I would have did something back then before this blew up to be what it is, you know? So yeah.
So do you think that eventually AI will make traditional filmmaking roles obsolete?
Yes and no. I would say it's a case by case situation. I feel as if it definitely, first, it's not going to kill the bottom line, because working with AI, it's still very, it has its inconsistencies that it hasn't developed to a certain point yet,
Mhm.
which that's still going to take some time. But I will say this, I will say it definitely can help advance, and at the same time it can, you know, diminish some jobs. I'm not oblivious to that, you know. So it's kind of like one of those half and half type of things, you know. It may you know, it may get rid of some jobs, but it's not gonna, honestly, I don't think it's gonna wipe out the industry the way people think it is. I just think a lot of people is not from, it's almost like when you're ignorant to what you don't know, and ignorant not meaning stupid, just uninformed.
Mhm.
You know, when you're ignorant to what you don't know completely, you can be afraid of it. But when you really know what it is, then you know, I really ain't got too much to worry about here. You know, because I know how to maneuver with it. So yeah.
Okay. Um, in which areas of production, like visual effects or script development, do you think AI is going to be most beneficial?
Honestly, visual effects, getting shots that honestly would take lots and lots of money to get, even if it's a simple shot, you know, like aerial shots, for an example, or certain explosions, you know, for an example, or certain special effects, you know. I would say, even though our AI programs can, you know, talk and you can give them dialogue and they can go back and forth, it's still not the same as human interaction. It's still very different. It just feels different, you know. So I would say that it's I would say, honestly, in my opinion, it leans more heavy on the visual aspect of when it comes down to filmmaking, more of the cinematography, the looks, the visual aspect. If we're talking acting and performance, and if we're talking, it hasn't reached that top tier level of a Viola Davis or of a
Really quick
Denzel
though,
Washington. It moves quick. It moves quick. It's just still haven't gotten there yet.
right?
Because even AI systems, they're not it's limited in several different spaces that it's still growing. It's still very early too for AI at the same time. As far as screenwriting, it definitely can help. I don't see it replacing, because even with screenwriting, it's, if anybody use Chat GPT, y'all know Chat GPT can hit and miss. And sometimes you put something in there and you're like, I don't really feel this like that. So I don't think we got too much to worry about on that aspect as of yet. Our computers haven't caught up to that yet.
Right.
So I think we still got some ways to go.
For aspiring filmmakers, what would you say would be the first step they should take to start experimenting with AI film technology?
Self-education is important. Become a sponge. Listen, we live in the time of the best university to ever live, YouTube University, and the best HBCU, which is Google HBCU. So listen, let me tell you something. Everything you want to know, everything you want to find out, it's literally at your fingertips. We live in a generation now where it's not like how even though my generation ain't that long ago, but when I started, we ain't had none of this. We ain't had TikTok. We ain't have these good iPhones with this good video quality. I was shooting with the big broadcast camera that you used to have in your media class back in school that used to do the morning news announcements. That's how I got started. That was before all of this techie stuff. So now that technology has become so accessible and at our hands, it's literally no excuse why you can't create some form of magic. So I would say self-education. Educate yourself to the utmost and spend some time knowing what it is that you're going into, so that way you don't come into it unprepared.
Yeah, for sure. What do you see is the biggest opportunity for independent filmmakers right now?
We live in it. We can get up and create. We can get up and create an audience. We can get up and make a name for ourselves. Honestly, I say this: the days of the old Hollywood, the days of the old celebrityship has gone now. If I'm just being honest, if we look on, even our new celebrities are not even the celebrities that walk the red carpets. Our new celebrities are Twitchers and it's streamers and it's TikTok influencers, and these are they're making their own way. They're making their own name without permission from somebody to greenlight you, without permission for somebody, to say, hey, I'm gonna give you permission to do this. You don't need permission from nobody. You can get up and make it happen. I look at you, brother, and something I admire in you is you get up and you make it happen. You don't wait on nobody. If you want to do it, you're gonna do it. And that's the mentality that independent filmmakers and creators gotta have, especially in this industry. Don't wait on nobody. Get up and make it happen. And we live in the best time to do it.
For sure. All right. So I guess I have two more questions for you. What do you think is the current distribution and streaming landscape for indie films right now?
Okay. You mean like as far as where the content is going? Okay. So my thoughts on that for independent filmmakers, I do know Tubi has been very instrumental for a lot of independent filmmakers. Still is. It's still very instrumental for a lot of independent filmmakers. However, I don't think, if I'm just being honest, I don't even think we've seen the revolution of independent filmmaking yet. I think it's coming.
Yeah,
I really believe it's coming. And even just being in this AI circle, that I'm in, there is literally like software now that is being developed to become like the AI version of Netflix, where it's strictly just AI content, shorts, features. Like it's that by itself, they're literally carving its own lane. They're literally carving a genre of its own with just that. And if we're talking independent, I don't think we've scratched honestly the surface of what's going to happen. But I do think the beautiful thing is seeing so many independent filmmakers now. And when you start seeing an uprise in a certain circuit, we're going to have some things to meet that demand. So I really believe that those things are to come. And I think there's some changes that is going to be making. Do I know exactly what is coming and what is happening fully? No, I wish I did, to get ahead of the game, but I don't. I'm just like a lot of us, that's trying to, see what's working, see where it's going. So honestly, I would just say let's just wait on it. But in the meantime, let's never stop creating, never stop being your authentic true self. Because when you have the heart for this industry, it's not about stats and it's not about that. Those things, as long as you're consistent, those things will come. But if you don't fall in love with the creation, the creative process, if you don't fall in love with the ups and downs of this industry, even your low moments, because your low moments is never a failure, it's a learning lesson. Something that I always say in this life, it's not you win or fail, it's you win or you learn.
Right.
And even then, that is still a win-win at the end of the day, because you learned something that you didn't know before. So I would say just never stop creating, honestly.
I'm hearing the preacher in you come out.
I get it honestly. My parents, yeah, I get it honestly. I can't run from it.
You're not, because it's all in you, for sure. So, is there any final thing you want to leave with our audience, or how they can connect with you? Or that a good jazz?
Absolutely. Everybody, you can follow me on my social media at Aaron Avant Johnson. If you look right here, you see my government name. That is the correct spelling. You can find me across all social media. You can go to my website, aajpfilms.com. You can go to Tubi. You can look up Predestined. You can look up Lost. Right now, Predestined and Lost is also streaming on In the Black Network and Merge TV. Which is owned by, I know Merge is owned by Dr. Holly Carter, the producer of the Clark Sisters film, and Merge is owned by James Du Bois, who's over at Fox. So right now you can catch both my films on their platforms, and we're also doing some relicensing with some other places as well, and just to stay updated. And if I had to leave one final message with everybody, that final message is, I don't care what your circumstance is looking like in this industry, in this business. Don't go by what you see, go by what you don't see. Don't be blinded. And sometimes we can even be blinded with our eyes open, because we can be blind to the things that we want because our situation doesn't look like that at the moment. Or I've been working, I've been trying to get here, but it's not seem like it's breaking through. Let me tell you something. If you keep on going and you stay with consistency and you stay focused, you keep pushing, I don't care how bad it hurts. Listen, you all are more than anything, more than any accolade I could win, you all are looking at a young man from Miami that started at the age of 9 years old, a young Black boy that always had vision, that always had dream, that made a vow, that said, I'm going to do things I've never seen nobody my age do, to show the next Black boy and girl that they can do the same thing. And the thing is that when you have that type of tenacity, you got that type of vision, that pushes you more than any yes can get you through a door. That pushes you more than any good news that you can receive, because at that time, you're not doing it for no celebration. You're not doing it for an applause. Look, applaud yourself. You're showing up every day. Applaud yourself. There's people that wish that they could be in the position that you're in, even though your position may not look like where you're going. And you keep going, you keep trucking, and you keep moving, because it's going to break for you. And more than anything, find you outside of this business. Find who you are outside of this business. Don't get caught up in your this whole thing, because it can be a lot. Sometimes you can confuse your identity with your career or what you're doing, and because you have downfalls in the career, now you're thinking you're not worth it. Now you're thinking you're not enough. No, you are more than enough, because you're more than somebody giving you a green light. You are more than somebody saying, I see value in you. See value in yourself first, because at the end of the day, everybody else is gonna have to catch up to you. When you see value in yourself, everybody else is going to catch up. Just give them time. They may be moving slow, but they will catch up. It ain't you got to catch up with everybody else. They got to catch up with you. So that's the advice I would give to anybody watching, and whether you're a creator, crew member, actor, actress, producer, recording artist, it doesn't matter. Whoever you are, just know that there's value in you outside of what you do.
Why I'm over here smiling like a big auntie?
Oh Lord. It's true. It really is true. That is something, honestly, one of the Oh God, that's one of the things I really had to learn, and that is something that has taught me, because a lot of people don't even know I'm in college. A lot of people don't even know I'm graduating next year. After that, I'm heading to law school for entertainment law. I said I've been through a lot of stuff in this industry, and I will learn to represent myself before before anything else. I've been through a lot. So I was like, nah. I said law school 3 years. I said it's all right. I'll go and get that degree. I'll represent my own deal.
Yeah, I am so
Yeah.
proud of you, Aaron. Let me just say that publicly. Since the first moment I interviewed you, which was how we first met, was an interview
Okay, yes.
a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and then we met in person when you moved up to Atlanta. So that's
Yeah,
how
that's
we met. I
true.
had to remember too. I was like, how did we meet?
I
But,
know. Because I'm trying to think of the events. I'm like, but I felt like
yeah,
I knew Butter before I seen her here. So that's
yeah,
why I was like, I don't know where we met. Like, I'm
that's
trying
what
to.
it is. But I am personally very proud of you, and I
Thank you.
see just amazing things from you and your whole camp. And I look forward to one day working with you as
Oh,
well.
yeah, most def. Most
But
def.
with that being said, everybody, we got to get out of here because I got to pay these bills and I got to put these commercials on and everything.
Oh,
So we out of here, and we're gonna talk to you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Aaron, hold on for a second, all right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, peace, y'all.